Hello everyone, welcome to our channel BISP Solution. Let's start our today's session. So this is our today's topic, pay on receipt, approval groups, and the same we have the employee and the supervisory approval. We'll see how to perform the supervisory approval, like we have the managers and senior manager. So the approval goes to the manager, and the same way the approval goes to the senior manager, and how we they approve, right? And at the end the requisition approvals, what is the different uh, kind of options we have in the approval system, we'll see, right? So we have the last topic, from the pay on receipt, start with the pay on receipt. So the pay on receipt means we pay the payment based on the receipt, right? So pay on receipt enables the user to automatically create the standard unapproved invoice for the payment of the goods, item, material based on the receipt transactions, right? The invoice are created using a combination of receipt and the purchase order information. We'll see in our last session how we create the invoice. We have the three-way matching, two-way matching, four-way matching, right? So we have performed the three-way matching. We create the invoice based on the purchase order and the receipt, right? So it helps us to eliminate the duplicate manual data entry and ensure the accurate and timely data processing, right? Pay on receipt, or you can say the payment on receipt, is also known as the evaluated receipt settlement, ERS, and also said that the self billing, right? So let's take one scenario. When we receive the material from the supplier, then we create the receipt. So in any case, supplier is taking too much time of to send the invoice or bill. So based on the receiving quantity, if you want to create the invoice, you can create in the application, and this process is known as the pay on receipt, and you can say on the self billing, right? So first we have to set the pay on receipt in the supplier side, right? So we have to enable this option on the supplier side, and later on we will create the purchase order receipt. And after creating the receipt, we have to perform one ESS job, that is send pay on receipt. It will automatically create the invoice in API, right? So let's see one by one all the steps, right? So let's move to the application. So this is our application. So first we have to check. So click on this navigator, go on that one, click on this navigator. And under the procurement section, click on this supplier. Click on this task list, click on this manage supplier, search for our supplier. This is Dell INC 1255. Let's click on that. Right, now click on this site. click on this edit icon so that we can edit this supplier side. And this edit button will enable the edit icon over the this portion, this area. Right, this is edit icon, click on that. Right, click on this purchasing. Right, so under the range we have the option is pay on receipt is already enabled. Right, and we have this self billing. So under the self billing we have the invoice summary level on the pay side, and you can also set the receipt side. Right, no issue. Click on this save and close. Right, now submit. Right, no issue. Save changes. Okay. Right, now let's create the purchase order. So click on this navigator, go to the procurement, click on this purchase order, and let's create one purchase order for the pay on receipt. And we have already create in our last session the requisition and purchase order, right? So in the same way we will create the purchase order for the any supplier. Click on the task list, click on this create order. This is our purchase order. We have to select our supplier. Right, click on create. Right, so this is our information. Now let's click on this add row so that a transaction line added, and we can select and we can add the item information, the quantity information. Right, let's search our item Tata 1001, and we have the on hand quantity. How much on hand quantity you can see on the below. Right, oh, it's not available. Right, how much quantity? Suppose we are going to procure 50 quantity on the base price is 100. right? We have the requested delivery date. Let's select our tomorrow. And what is the destination type? Our destination type is inventory, right? You can also mention the sub inventory and what is the matching. Suppose we have the 3 matching, 2 matching, you can select over here, and there is no any agreement, right? So no need to define over here the agreement, right? So our invoice match, you can see this is our invoice match. No? It could be anything, because of we are not creating the invoice matching with the receipt or matching with the purchase order, right? No issue. So this is our line, and we have the pay on receipt. We have to check, we have to enable this option, pay on receipt, right? Is mandatory. Now let's check the approvals. Who can approve this purchase order? We can check over here. Right. So we have the application development framework application identified for the procurement, means system will approve this request, right? This is auto approved. You can also say that this is auto approved. Right. Let's click on this. We have the 547 amount. You can copy it and let's paste in our amount section. Let's click on this submit. Let's copy this purchase order number and place in our database. Right. Now let's click on this task list. Go to the manage orders. Now search by the order number and we can check the status of this purchase order. Status is pending approval. Click on this search. Click on this search. It will take few seconds to change the status from pending approval to the open. Yes, it gets approved by the system, right? So purchase order gets approved. Now let's create the receipt. So in order to create receipt, click on this navigator and go to the supply chain execution and go to the inventory management. We have the task, name is receipt. Click on this task list and click on this receipt from the show task and click on this receive expected shipment. Now search by the purchase order. Now this is our purchase order and we have the 50 quantity of this. Let's select the record, click on this receive. I'm going to receive the quantity, the item, the material from the supplier to our receiving area, right? So we have to select our receiving. Right, wait for a while. Right. So I'm going to take 50 quantity from supplier to in our receiving area, right? Now we have to show all columns so that we can select our destination, location. Otherwise, it will show you there are receiving location. Let's select. This is our receiving area. Let's click on create icon, create receipt. No issue. Again, click on this create receipt. Right. Now system will create the receipt number when we click on this submit. So I'm going to take the 50 quantity from the supplier to our receiving area, right? Now let's check our on in quantity. So no, sorry, click on this navigator. Click on this navigator. Go to our supply chain execution. Click on this inventory. Click on this task list. No issue. Our receipt is created. Let's copy our receipt number. So let's paste it in the receipt area, right? Click OK. Right. So we have received 50 quantity in our receiving area, right? This page is not responding. Let's forget it. No issue. Let's perform our put away receipt task, right? So click on this navigator. Sorry, click on this task list, and under the receipt, we can click on this put away receipt so that we can take and we can receive the item from receiving area, and you can say that the staging area to our inventory area, right? So let's click on this search icon, right? So this is our receipt. Click on this put away. right? So how much quantity you want to take into our inventory area from receiving area, right? So I'm going to take 50 quantity from the receiving area, right? Now we have to define the sub inventory. So this is our sub inventory. Destination type is inventory, right? So let's click on the record and click on this submit. Right. So a put transaction was created. So let's check our on-hand quantity from here because this window is not working. Click on this task list. Click on this inventory and let's check the on-hand quantity. Previously we have the 500 quantity. Search. It should be 550, right? We have the 550, right? No issue. Now let's perform the ESS job where we have to go to the tools, click on this schedule processes, right? Click on this schedule new process. So now I'm going to create the invoice using the ESS job, right? Based on the receipt, we are going to create invoice automatically, right? So we have the task name is send pay on receipt. So it create the invoice automatically based on the receipt transaction, right? So what is the transaction source? We have the evaluated this, it means we have the self billing, right? And now what is the commit interval? Go with the default. And what is the receipt number? It's very important. We have to define our receipt number. So let's, this is our receipt number. And what is our in period? Let's select, suppose we have 2, right? Click on the submit. So 7609 is our process ID. 7690, this is 7690. Status is running. Pay on receipt. Click on again. The pay on receipt succeeded, right? So the system creates the invoice. So let's go to our payable section. Click on this navigator. Go to the payables. Click on this invoice. Now we have to validate our invoice, right? So we are on the invoice and we have to search our incomplete invoice. So how can we search over here? Suppose we have the, we don't have the recent manage invoice. So we don't have the invoice number, we have the supplier. Let's take the supplier. Search for supplier, and last row, let's check. Not showing any. There is no any receipt number, so that we can not find any. So system will create the invoice based on the receipt, right? Let's go to the ESA job one more time. If there is any issue, this is our pay on receipt. Click on the, and we have the right. So this is our report, pay on receipt information. So this is our header number, right? There is no any information, right? Let's go to again pay bus. Let's check one more time. It should be reflected over here. No issue, right? If there is any incomplete, so it will reflect over here, right? So this is about the pay on receipt, right? Now let's move to our next topic, that is approval group, right? So in our application we have the approvals group who can approve the request like requisition, purchase order, invoices, who can approve. So you can define the groups over here, right? Like we have the purchase requisition. So we can define the condition over here if the PR's purchase requisition amount is same or less than. Then we have the user name is Casey Brown, and he will approve the request. Suppose the amount is greater than the 1,000, then the manager will approve this request, right? So this is a approval group we can define over here in our application. The same way we can define in the purchase order also. The same, the acquisition and the purchase order have the same options, same rules we can define over here. So let's go with the purchase acquisition, right? So first we have to create the user. After that we have to create the approval group, and we can create the purchase acquisition rule, and we have to create the purchase requisition and we can approve this requisition, right? Right. So we have already created the approval group, the user, the KC Brown we have already created, but we don't have the Tata 001, right? So first we will create the user Tata 001. After that we will create the groups, right? In first group we have the KC Brown. So the KC Brown is the user who will approve the purchase order same or less than the 1000 USD, and similarly we have the user Tata 001, and this user will approve the PR, the purchase acquisition more than 1000 USD, right? So this is the rules. So let's move to the application and we'll see the whole concept of approval group, right? So start from the user creation, after that creation of approval group, and then rule, purchase requisition rule, then we will create the purchase requisition and then we will approve this requisition, right? After that we will see the purchase order if we have enough time, so that, right? So this is our application. Is not responding, let's finish, right? So in order to create, click on this navigator. First we will create the new user. So under the tools, click on the security console. I'm just creating one user so that we can approve a request from that user depends on the condition, what kind of condition you have given, right? So add user account. So what is the Tata 001? This is our, let's check, Tata 001, no issue. Let's enter the password, that is right. And no need to assign roles because we are going to perform only the notification approval concept, right? So let's save and close. Right. So we have created the user. Let's create the approval group. So click on this setting and action and go to the setup and maintenance. Using our project, we are going to create the approval groups. Click on this task list, go to the manage implementation project and search for our project. This is our project, SCM implementation project, right? So we have the task name is manage approval groups, and you can also search from the task from here, right? Manage approval groups. Click on this go to task. So it will landed on the BPM server, right? Where we can create the approvals group, right? So it will wait for a while. BPM work list. Here you can create the group. You can see the seeded group over here, and you can also create, right, by clicking on this create icon. So create approval group. Let's define this name, that is Casey Brown Casey Brown underscore approval group 1. Right. Now let's add the member. So click on this add member on the right side and search. The name is Casey Brown. Search. Select the record and click on this OK. Again click OK. Right. So this is our approval group. Under this approval group, we have one user who will approve the request based on the condition. Save. Right. The approval group is saved successfully. Again, click on this create icon so that we can create one more for our Tata 001. So the approval group name is Tata 001 underscore approval group 2. Right. Click on this add member. Search the member. This is our Tata 001. Tata 001 is our approval group. Click on this OK. OK. Again, click on this save. So our approval groups gets created, right? Now again switch to our application. Now let's create the requisition rule. So we have the manage requisition approvals. Click on this go to task. Right. So under the manage requisition approvals, we have the stages, participant, routings, votings, right? And we have the different kind of stages over here, participant, right? What are the different type of routing? We will cover in our next topic. What is the uses of stages? What is the use of this participant, right? We'll see. Now we have to go. The stages is header stage, and the participant is header consensus, and we have the parallel, right? So we have to go with this rule, right? So before going to this rule, we have to disable the previous one, right? So we have to disable this, otherwise it will show you the error, right? Because we cannot define the multiple rule, right? For practice purpose, in our application we can define as per your requirement what are the different requirement we have. So depends on the requirement we create the conditions, depends on the condition we set the actions, we set the action. Under the action we set the approval groups, yeah, the single approvals, right? So we have the stages, header consensus and parallel, and routing is consensus. Click on this edit rule, right? So we have to disable all the predefined uh, rules over here, and you can also delete all this one, right? Suppose we delete this one, let's disable, no need to delete. Right. So this one is also disable. This one is disable. Third one is also disable, and fourth one is also disabled. Right. Now click on this create. So I am going to create new one. So what is the name of this rule? So I am going to create purchase acquisition underscore same or less than 100,000. Right. So the amount is same or less than 1,000. We can create the rules for that. Right. So copy this one and paste it over here. Right. Click on OK. Now this is our rule, and select the rule and click on this add condition. So we have different type of uh, condition like approval, task, attribute. We have the different attributes, right? So we can approve depends on the task attribute, or you can also approve on the user defined attribute, right? So right now with the approvals, right? Now what is the attribute? We have to define this attribute like we have the amount, we have the descriptions, right? So requisition amount, requisition header is our attribute, right? And what is the operator? Operator is less than or equals to, right? And what is the value? You can also define the value over here, and value is 1,000, right? Click on OK. And we can also define the operator over here, and operator. We have the and of conditions, right? So select the record and click on this add condition. What is the condition for this? Right, we have the automatically in previous session we have uh, approved our request, our purchase request, our requisition request based on the automatic, right? So this is automatic approval, right? And this is the information only, and this is approval required. So approval required based on the approval group. So which approval group we have already created? So let's define not right. So search for the approval group. So less than we have the we have the 1,000. So PR amount is 7 less than 1,000. So who can approve? Approval is KC Brown. So we have to define the KC Brown is our approval group. Select our approval group, click OK, right? Okay. So this is our first rule. And you can also add the multiple conditions actions for that, and the same way we can add the multiple condition over here, right? With the operator you can select operator, we'll see, right? Save and close. Sorry, let's take one more rule. Let's create one more, right? So this would be disable, this is disable, third one is disable, fourth one is disable, and fifth one is enable, right? Let's create one more. For the PR is more than 1000, right? More than 1000. So who can approve this request? The Tata 001 is approve this request, right? So select the record and click on this add condition, right? So what is our attribute is requisition amount. Based on amount, amount is our attribute. Yes, requisition amount, requisition header. And what is the operator? That is greater than, and the amount is 1000, right? Okay, and let's add the action for this condition. So who can take the action? The approvals groups. Which approvals groups? We have already defined the Tata approval group, right? Okay. Now save and close, and let's deploy this rule, right? Now you change was deployed, okay, and done. Now let's create the requisition. So go to the navigator, procurement section, click on this purchase requisition. Right. So let's click on this enter requisition line. Right. Now let's select the item. Select the item, click OK. Right. There is some issue in our, go to again. Purchase requisition. We have the purchase requisition new. What do it mean? Click on this more task, click on this update requisition preference. KC bonds, set tail, expense, inventory. Right. This is our charge account, no issue. Save and close. Click on this enter requisition line. Let's select the item. I think application, yes, the source organization is given, destination time cannot be determined. Your supply chain manager. So there is a option. There is source organization, right? For the given destination types cannot be determined. Let's select the source organization. There is no any source organization over here right now. Let's check one more time. Otherwise, we will define our rules for our purchase order. It's not working. Click on this manage, click on this preference. So there is no any issue. Source type is supplier. We have to select supplier over here, right? Suppose we have select our Tata, and if you have the supplier, so we will select our supplier, right? No issue. Now let's define quantity. Suppose we have the 5 quantity with the amount is 100, so it will show you the 500, and this is less than 1000, right? So it's a less than 1000, and we have more information. No need to define supplier number, right? Now click on this add to cart. Now it's added to the cart. Click on this and click on this review, and at that page you can check who can approve this request, right? So click on this manage approvals. Takes time, wait for a while, and this manage approval show you who can approve the not showing anything. Can check this one. No issue. Back, submit, and the requisition number is 204129, 204129, and status is pending. So let's copy it, click OK, and let's paste it in our requisition, right? And let's remove all the things, right? Now click on this notification, and we don't have any, right? Click on this manage requisition. Now search for our requisition number. The status is rejected. Yes, you can see 204129, and system send the approval request to the KC round, and this KC round reject this request, right? No issue. Done. Now let's create one more, and in that scenario we will define our amount is more than 1000, right? Click on this enter requisition, select our item, right? Now we have to define the quantity is 11, amount is 100, so the amount is more than 1000, right? And click on this add to cart, click on this review, click on this manage approval. Should we display the approvals? It's not display. Let's click on this submit. The purchase equation is 204130. You can also note this. This 204130. Click on this navigator, go to the requisition under the procurement. Right, again go to this requisition. Right, action, and we cannot submit over here. Let's create new one. Right, now let's define the quantity and amount here. Suppose we have the 12 quantity with the amount is 100 each, right? So it reflects more than 1000. Let's click on this add to cart, and we have to delete this one. Yes, we have the okay. We have the 12 quantity submit, right? So we have the pending approval 30 204130. Okay, we have to copy this one, copy and click on this manage requisition, search for the requisition, and the pending approval, click on search and click on again search. It's again, right? And there is no any notification, right? So let's log in with the Tata 001. So another user who will get the notification of this requisition. So Tata 001, right? So this is our user Tata 001. It should be get one notification. I think it will take time. Should we get notification? So wait for a while. And in the same way, we can create the rules for the procurement also, right? Let's move to our next topic. This is our basic steps in the employee supervisory approval. In our previous topic, that is a group approval, in which group approval who can approve the request, we have already defined our approval groups. And suppose we have the supervisory uh, levels. Suppose we have the employee have the uh, manager have the senior manager, right? So the approval goes to first the request sent by the employee, and the request goes to the manager and senior manager, right? So this is a supervisory approval. So we can perform at the level 1, level 2, level 3, right? So let's take one scenario for the level 1 approval. So we have to create the employee, right? And you can also say that the supervisor, because we have already created the Casey Brown. So Casey Brown have the employee user, and we create a one user, new user, that is our supervisor. You can say the manager of this Casey Brown, right? And we have to create the relationship. After we will create the approval rule, and then we will create the purchase requisition, right? So employee is our Casey Brown, we have already created, and the employer have the supervisor employer, right? Employee having the supervisory employee, that is name is Tata underscore X, right? And the hire date of this Tata underscore S supervisory employee is prior than the hire date of the employee user, because manager comes first, after that the employee comes, right? So date is very mandatory, right? And it is our approval. So a request created by the employee user, that is Casey Brown, and this request sent to our supervisory employee, that is Tata X, and Tata X is our manager, right? So in that case, we have to create the supervisory employee, right? The level one. In the same way, we can also define the level two. So in that scenario, we have to create the Tata underscore Y. In the same way, we have to create the employee and supervisor's relationship. We have to create the approval rule and equation, purchase equation. So in that scenario, the Casey Brown will create the requisition, and the approval goes to our Tata X. This is our supervisory employee, and this supervisory employee have one supervisory employee, one more, that is Tata underscore Y, right? So approval goes to both X and Y, and in different scenario we have a different type of option, both have the take both receive the approvals at the same time, and in another scenario, X having X received the approval request. When he approve and reject this request, after that this request goes to our Tata underscore Y, right? We have a different scenario, right? So we will go with the level one in our today's session. So let's start. I think it will take more time to take the notification. No, not taking, right. Let's sign out and sign in. Brown. Let's take. So suppose we have already created this like dot underscore s. Let's create one. Go to the tools. Click on this security console. Right. Let's click on this user. And we have to create new one, that is Tata underscore X. Right. So save and close. This is our implementation user. Now we have to convert this implementation user into uh, employee user. So go to the manage user, click on this task list, go with the search, global search. This is manage user. right? So first we have to check the Casey Brown created date, right? Click on this name and we have to copy. So this is our hire date of Casey Brown. We have to copy this one in our notepad. Right, cancel out. Now let's create new one and this name is our Tata underscore X and let's define Tata underscore X at the rate because this is a mandatory field. Now let's define the hire date. Hire date must be less than of our employee user. So this is our 04 2004. So let's go to 03, right? So let's take this 03 and you can also link. We have to link this employee user to our implementation user, right? So we have linked this implementation user to the employee user. Now select our person type is employee. Now select our legal employer. This is legal entity 1. Business unit is US 1 business unit. US 1 business unit, right? And this employee user have the manager you can define over here, right? Let's save and close. Now let's create the relationship between the employee and the supervisor employer, right? Right. We have to define this Tata underscore X as the manager of this employee user. Employee user is Casey Brown, right? So who is the manager? Let's copy it. We have to change who's the manager. Right. So we have to change the manager of this Casey Brown. We have to define the Tata X, right? Save and close. So this Casey Brown is employee and the supervisor employee is Tata underscore X. Right, done. Now let's create the rule. It is our go with the project. No, let's go with here also. Manage approvals. Manage approval groups. It's not going BPM. Click on this requisition approvals. Right. So there is no any node enable over here, right? So we have to enable one node. Let's select header consensus and parallel consensus, right? Click on this edit rules, and we have already defined our PR and all that, right? So we have to disable these rules, disable this one, also disable this one. Now create, right? So rule you can define, this is IMP employee underscore supervisory rule. This is our data, right? Click OK. Right, now select the record and go to our condition. Click on this condition. So what is our attribute? Attribute is requisition, requisitioning BU, and requisition header, and the operator is equal to with the value of our business unit, right? It is US1 business unit. Click OK. So under this business unit, we create the requisition, and let's add the condition. So the approval is required, and we have already seen the approval group. Job level we will see in our coming session, position hierarchy, and we have the single approval icon also, and supervisory hierarchy, right? So the approval chain is preparer, and the start with the manager, and the level is one. We will see we perform the one level one approval, right? One is employee, and the supervisory employee, right? So who on the top worker in the hierarchy? So our manager, that is Tata underscore A, is our top level. Select this record, click OK, click OK. Now save and close. Now click on this deploy. We have to green sign over here. Okay, done. Let's check. It's not. should we enable, right? Should we enable, right? And let's create one requisition. Go to the procurement, click on this purchase requisition. Right. I think in our last topic we have forget the enable the rules, I think. Right. Let's click on this item, search for item Tata, select the record, click OK. Right. So let's define, we have the 10 quantity with the 100, right? Now click on this add to cart, right? Click on this Shopee and click on this review. It will show you the approvals group, manage approvals. Right, now you can see this is our approval hierarchy. So who can receive this approval group? This Tata X, right? So let's submit. Right, so this is our copy paste, manage requisition. The status is pending approval, and you can also check from here. Let's go first. You can see this is pending approval, right? And let's see, let's take notification for the KC Brown. Right, let's check firstly, log out, so there are no first. Now let's search, login with the Tata X password. Right, so Tata X get the notification, right? And requisition should be, let's refresh. Let's wait for a while. Right. So our requisition is 204131, right? And let's upload, right? So the supervisory employee get the notification. Now let's sign out and sign in with the Casey Brown. Right. Right. Click on this notification and the request is approved. Now let's check in our requisition and click on this one, click on this requisition. Right, the status is approved. Right, now let's go. I think we have done some mistake in our uh, previously. Go to the setting and action, setup and maintenance, and click on this task list, manage implementation project, go with the project and search is requisition approval. This is our requisition approval. I think we forget to enable the rules in our previous session, like previous topic. So this is enabled. Let's add it, and we have to disable this one, disable this one, right? And we have create this more than and less than. So we'll take this scenario more than 1000, right? So save and close, and let's deploy. Let's deploy and should be enabled so that it will perform. Otherwise, it will not perform, right? Select record and deploy. Change this deploy and the select the record and click on this enable so that it will perform the functionality, right? Now let's go to the requisition and let's create one requisition. Purchase requisition. Let's create one more that is more than 1000. So right, select our item, search, right? So the amount quantity is 13, amount is 100, right? So it will be more than 1000. Add to cart, click on this shopping, click on this review so that you can check the approval group. Click on this approval, manage approvals, so that we can check who can approve this request. Right, let's submit. Right, so our equation is 32, right? 4130. Now let's log in with the user. Name is Tata 001. There is no notification. Let's wait for a while. So according to the rules, it should be uh, receive a notification. It should receive the approval request. There is more than 1000. Now let's move to our next topic. We have covered this level 1, right? So our next topic is requisition approval stages. What are the different stages we have? So we have the header pre-approval stages, header stages, and header post-approval stages, right? So what do you mean by that? If you select the pre-approval stage, it means first the request is sent to the review, right? After that, it will be approved, right? If suppose we have the procure some item from the supplier and you select the rule as a pre-approval stage, so at that time the approval goes for the review first. After that, reviewing this uh, request, if he want to approve the request, he can approve, right? In the same way, we have the stages. Header stage where the supervisory approve when the request come. No need to check and no need to worried about the review or this the request and all that. We can approve it, right? And the last one is post approval, right? So Mr. X or any employee can approve who get the request, right? And the same way we have the requisition approval routing, serial, parallel, and FYI. So in the serial, suppose we have the A, B, C, D, right? So first A approve the request. After that, the B can approve the request, and the same way C and D, right? They can only approve the request serial wise, right? On the hierarchical wise, suppose we define the A, B, C, and D, right, in the same way. And if you have the parallel consensus, so simultaneously request sent to the A, B, C, D, right? And depends on uh, who can approve first and who can approve last, right? Depend on the uh, voting resume, right? So in the serial, first A receive, the request. When A approved the request, this request sent to the B, and B approved the request, the request sent to the C. But in the parallelly request sent to the ABC simultaneously, right? And FYI is for your information. The information sent to the all user, this is not a approval request, right? And requisition approval voting resume, it means the first responder wins or consensus. The first responder wins means the request sent to all the participant, only one can approve the request, no need to approve, right? No need to approve request by all the participant, right? And the consensus, all the participants should approve the request so that the request uh, approved, right? And we have the, you can check over here, still not get any, right, no issue. Let's sign out. KC Brown, let's, you can see the request is approved, right? For your information, 40431 is approved, right? This is FII is talking about. So let's check. Setting and maintenance, setup and maintenance. Click on this task list. Go to the implementation project. This is our implementation project. Search for a requisition approval. Click on that. Go to this, go to task. Right, so this is our stages. You can see over here. Right now we have on the stages, header stages, consensus, and parallel consensus, right? So simultaneously the request sent to the all the user, right? In the serial, A receive the request, and after approving this request, B receive the request, right? So this is serial and parallel, and this is first respondent and consensus. If we select the first respondent means, it means anyone can approve the request, no need to worried about all user approve this request. And in consensus, all the users should be approve the request so that the we can make the request approved, right? And this is header stages and pre-approval stages and the post-approval stages, right? So this is all about the approval groups, right? So we have covered all the topics, today's topic. So thanks for attending this session.